All right, guys, we are here at FIU University. We're going to take a seat. It is a warm day again. I'm sure you can see us sweating here. I'm here with Moses Kashem, who runs this amazing program here, and I'd really like to hear all about it. And
Sure.
start off, what is the name of the program that you're working with?
Well, the Department of Education program is Upward Bound Math and Science, but this farming endeavor is called the Urban Vegetable Project.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And where are we located?
Uh, right off Biscayne Bay in North Miami, Florida.
And this is a university, Florida International University.
Yeah.
Awesome. And this is an effort supported by the USDA, correct?
We're actually U.S. Department of Education.
Oh, excuse
Yeah.
me. Very cool. So can you give us a little kind of peek into what it is you guys are doing here?
Sure. Well, the premise of the program is, Upward Bound Math and Science is to get high-achieving, low-income students into college. But ever since I was made assistant director and now director, I'm able to push my interests on the students, for selfish reasons or just because I enjoy farming. So I push farming onto them, right?
Okay.
It's a science too, and that falls into that category with the government. So they're happy with it. I'm happy with it, and the students have really taken to it.
And so you are not only a farmer then, you're the director of this program and you're also a professor, correct?
Director of the program and a farmer. Yeah.
There you go. Very cool. Well, tell us a little bit about some of maybe your successes here. What's been some of the things that you've noticed from bringing agriculture to these students that may not have had any opportunities, and now you're kind of exploring this whole other side of education that really isn't, I would say, mainstream yet.
Sure. That's a really good question. I guess there's a number of successes. I can call them successes. There's monetary success.
Amazing.
Running our CSA through the university with the help of our students.
Okay. And so CSA is community supported agriculture. Now, how many people or families are you feeding through that CSA?
This year was what, 25, Mary? Yeah, we had 25. That was our first year of running our CSA. And we also did a program where, not even a program, just an informal thing where if the students wanted to take home veg, whenever they're out here, they can take home whatever they want.
Nice.
So we had one way to support us financially, because it's great not having to ask for money.
Good to hear that.
Yeah. And the other one was like, it gave you the feel goods. It made you feel good to give your students food, and they take it home, and their parents, a lot of them are from diverse backgrounds,
Right.
Asian, Haitian, Latin America, and they could put a spin on the food that is interesting, and
Right.
they can enjoy it in their way.
Awesome.
It's not like I'm saying eat this iceberg lettuce. No, they'll take what they like.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so have you kind of seen, I know for me, I just sometimes will hand over some veggies to a volunteer or to some of our clients in Phoenix, which happens to be working, needy, and homeless. And it's almost like you see a spark sometimes from folks that might not have seen a papaya since they've been, overseas or since they've come. And it's different here, we're in the tropics, but just in general, do you kind of see that, like you said, the good feels, kind of like just really builds community.
Sure.
And it's a common ground in all cultures, So I guess I'm more making a statement than a question. What are some of your more obstacles or speed bumps that you've had running a program like this?
That's a great question. And I'd say the biggest obstacle is bureaucracy. Because you are in an institution. The institution has goals. But we have to remember a university is a business.
Oh.
So the university has their business goals, but I have my goals with our students, and we have goals that are beyond that business. It's like, okay, we want to make sure the student has a better life. That if push comes to shove, they know how to feed themselves. They can grow food.
Right.
So it's not putting, not giving that bureaucracy, not letting it take over and say, okay, this is what I'm going to push on to my students. It's no, I have higher goals than that, or I have different goals than that, and that's what I want.
Principles.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't claim myself to be morally better than most, but yeah, I have my principles. You're right.
Yeah. And I can definitely relate to that, and kind of not everybody's a farmer. Not everybody can relate to what we're doing out here, sweating like crazy people in the middle of July.
Yeah.
It doesn't always, it's not fluid, and I can definitely relate to that as well. Now, what's your favorite part about doing farming? What's your favorite part of this whole project? What really makes you kind of shine, or what makes you just really, what brings you here? What gets you up in the morning? What keeps you hustling compost and planting cover crops? And what really does that for you? What are your feel goods?
My feel goods are getting sweaty, getting my hands in the dirt. I don't want to be behind a desk.
I feel
You know, I'm a director of a program. I have an office. I've never been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there. We have a staff who has maintained the back end of things, you know, all the paperwork and the scheduling, and I get to play in the dirt. Like who gets to do that? And
Not a lot of us.
yeah,
Not
so
a lot of us.
I'm grabbing this by the balls and being like, all right, I'm gonna
Nice.
do this. I'm gonna enjoy this as long as I can do this. You know.
That's amazing. Now,
Yeah.
what would you give advice to somebody that wanted to do something similar to this? Because I know I get kind of contacted a lot, and they're like, how do I make a career out of this? How do I do this? Where do I start? Well, first off, where would you tell people to start?
First, I would say start. Just do it.
That is exactly what
Yeah,
I say,
man.
brother. For real,
Yeah,
that is awesome.
yeah.
That is exactly what I say.
Yeah.
Just do what you can with what you
Exactly.
have, where you are,
Exactly.
and just start doing something.
Yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. That's exactly what I say. And what would you say is kind of after that? What are some things or ideas or motions or places to resources that you would recommend?
I would not be scared to approach anyone, no matter how big the institution, to set something up, pitch your idea to them. Like I pitched it to this large university, and they gave me this plot of land.
So you actually created this.
There was nothing here.
This program is your baby.
Yeah, the Urban Vegetable Project is my baby.
That's amazing. And
Yeah,
you guys got a pretty significant grant for this, correct?
Sure. Well, the grant is for the upper bound math and science, but
The entire program.
the entire program.
But you could reach into that for the farm because
Absolutely.
this is obviously science, and you can make math curriculum here too.
Absolutely. You know,
Like-
we push all of that. Yeah.
Like one sunflower seed. How many sunflower seeds can one sunflower seed make?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
780, or it depends on the sunflower.
Sure.
But that's an equation.
Absolutely. So the students, they'll do a number of things that tie back into the farm to make it, you know, to be able to be supported by the Department of Education. So we have them and their chemistry lab come out here, analyze the soil.
That's
How do
amazing.
we produce better crops? So they're like, all right, Moses, you need more nitrogen in the soil. You need more phosphorus. And they did a poster presentation on that last year.
That's
Or
fantastic.
what are your yields? Or what do you want to grow that'll attract certain clients? So they look at all these different things that tie back into science and math and even business. So it's been a super win-win. You know?
Now, do you find the kids, you know, I remember geometry class, and I think we were like shooting spitballs and throwing things in people's hair, and it wasn't really that all engaging. Do you find more that the students are relating better and kind of holding on to the information because they're using it in real life application?
Sure. The cool thing about teaching out at a farm is you don't tell them you're teaching them.
They're farming.
Exactly. So you're like sneakily teaching them. You're like, all right, I'm going to do something that will require certain math skills, but I'm not going to tell them they're using the math skills. They'll just use it without even knowing and learn it.
And then do you sometimes watch like the one kid be like, hey, this is relating back to last week's lesson on blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
you see it click, and it's just like beautiful. Now, let's kind of shift gears a little bit here. You guys are not using, this is not a commercial agricultural farm. You're not using chemical fertilizers.
No.
I see your compost piles over there, which I think is fantastic. What are some techniques that you're using here to avoid kind of the, I say, plague of commercial agriculture and the damaging? I mean, this plot you can really tell is being bioremediated.
Sure.
And brought back into a space where, you know, even if you picked up the dirt and taste it or eat it, you're not going to have anything bad on there as far as chemicals or herbicides or pesticides. So what are some of the things and techniques that you're using to keep kind of the integrity of the land and food legit?
Well, the cool thing is that the techniques are always, you know, keeping the soil pure is the cheapest way to do it.
Yep.
You have to have money to make the soil impure and put those chemicals in. So what I'm about to say,
Well, that's part of the whole scam.
right, it supports a business, right? I'll make your crops grow better if you put these chemicals in there.
Right.
And then that supports a business, which supports another business.
And you can't, that's not regenerative. So every season, they find another problem that you have. So,
Sure.
but what do they have? A solution in a form that you need to pay for.
Right,
And
right.
that's kind of the thing. Like agriculture doesn't need to be that way.
Right.
You know, are you guys using any kind of like permaculture techniques?
Sure. I mean, we compost heavily.
Awesome.
So the easiest way to do it is approach a restaurant and say, all that food scrap that you're paying to put, people pick up, I'll take it. So Mary and I have set up agreements with the kitchens at FIU or
Awesome.
the campus dining. They give us all their food scraps. This morning we went, picked up all of our food scraps. We do it at least 3 times a week. The Starbucks on campus gives us all their coffee grounds.
Best, isn't it? The coffee grounds.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like compost gunpowder. It just accelerates everything. You can even top dress your plants with it without composting it.
Yeah, super high in nitrogen and it's free, man. Like
That's
you
the
get
best.
20 pounds every time you go there. Just a huge 5-gallon
I
bucket.
bet there's a
filled.
lot of coffee going through the veins of these students, especially
Yeah,
at finals time.
Yeah.
Now I saw that right now we're in South Florida. You can see we're sweating balls. There's not really a better way to put it. But what is going on right now with your field? You've got some cover crops. It looks like, right? Could you kind of explain the thinking behind cover crops?
Sure. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, it's just a field full of what looks like weeds, very organized weeds. Cover crops are basically you're giving back to the soil that you pillage throughout the season. So you take from the soil all year to grow your vegetables, and you got to get back, or else next season will suck.
It is the law of return. If
Yep.
you're physically taking things out and turning them into squash or tomatoes or peppers, if you don't put anything back in, you're not going to grow those squash, tomatoes, and peppers quite as well.
Absolutely, that's 100% what it is. It's just you
Returning
give and
the
take.
favor.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
you know what, soil, have a rest, take a break. Here's like a little massage for you, spa day.
Yeah,
We're gonna hit you hard in fall, buddy.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Now it's starting in fall here. When are you guys really gonna start your next planting season?
Planting probably will start late August.
Wow.
We're gonna pick it up right around then.
Now what are you gonna start throwing in there?
As far as plants,
Yeah.
oh, we grow
kind of
about
crops?
35 different varieties of things. At least 3-4 different tomato varieties. Like
In the fall. I
In the
love
fall,
it. Now,
yeah.
are you guys starting? I saw some plant starts over there. Are those tomatoes, you've got them already coming from seed, or do you guys go purchase tomato plants?
we do everything by seed.
Awesome.
We try F1 seeds, like first generation seeds,
Hybrids.
organic.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, we try to keep it as pure as we can because I don't know if people have ever tried a diluted tomato that you find at a McDonald's hamburger. It's not where it's at.
It's not enjoyable.
No, it isn't.
No.
But when you try an F1,
I wouldn't even want to
first
feed it to
generation,
like my dog.
Right.
She probably wouldn't even eat it.
Yeah.
No, and so we got some seeds for you here. We brought I don't know, maybe 15 packs of seeds from our friends at Baker's Creek, those are all going to be heirloom, open pollinated seeds. But, I think there's kind of a big myth, not a myth, but a misconception that about GMOs. Let's just talk about that for a minute,
Sure.
right? Okay, so GMOs are going to be your genetically modified seeds, and I'll go into like Home Depot or something to buy some plants or whatever, and they'll have like a cucumber or whatever that says non-GMO.
Right.
Now, just a real quick, it might be a little off topic, but cucumbers are not GMO right now. Like we're kind of working with more commodity crops are going to be GMOs. And could you kind of explain the difference between a hybrid and a GMO?
Sure. I guess a GMO is something that has been so, I guess, let's say you're breeding cattle to get that super producing cattle. This is bred so heavily that it no longer can really do anything but produce. It's lost its character as an overall organism. It's just a production factory. That's all it is.
It's been manufactured almost. So
Yeah.
that's kind of off base here. But now tell us here, I see some kind of perennial crops over here. We've got some kind of tropical stuff, the papayas, the bananas. You've got quite a bit of space here to work with.
Yeah.
How old is this plot? How old is this project?
This is maybe those plants maybe not even a year and a half.
Okay,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
what's the next plans for you guys? Are you going to add more of like a tropical orchard, or do you guys
Sure.
have plans to add that?
Yeah, there's going to be like a tropical side right there, at least 20, 30 papayas and
Amazing.
just sugarcane and bananas on that side. And
Beautiful.
on that side over there, we do our traditional vegetables for our community support agriculture program. So tomatoes, many different types of lettuce varieties, cucumbers.
And you
Yeah,
also
name
have
it.
some bees too.
Yeah, yeah.
Now
yeah.
the bees are great for obviously pollinating your crops.
yeah.
Are you guys getting a honey pool off them?
Not yet.
No?
They're young hives. They're
Okay.
like a couple months, but they produce so quickly down here in South Florida in the summer. It's insane. So,
Well,
yeah.
and that's cool of you not to be. I know a lot of commercial apiarians, beekeepers,
Yeah.
are not doing it the right way, and like their main product is the honey.
Sure.
So they'll go in there and bees eat the honey. That's really what
Right,
bees are
right.
eating, and that's their food. And if you take that food out, kind of like the land, you got to return something.
Yeah,
So a lot of
yeah.
time they'll put things like corn syrup in there,
Sure.
or really even just like a sugar water. So it's important to kind of let those hives get established,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And really get to a point where you've got that abundance of honey, which will
Sure.
happen.
It'll happen if you leave them alone, let them do their thing. They are such organized creatures.
Oh, it's amazing, right?
They have their own system and setup to just produce tons of honey if you leave them alone. So what we end up doing is letting them do their thing even in the summer when we're not putting tons of plants for them to pollinate and take nectar from. But there are mangroves. We're surrounded by mangroves here.
Really?
Surrounded by mangroves. So
Okay.
their honey will be mangrove honey.
I'm a desert guy.
Yeah.
Tell me, a mangrove is like those really squirrely looking roots, and it's saltwater, correct?
Right. A mangrove mangroves are the staple of the wetlands down here. So they are the plants that act as the sentinels from blocking the ocean out, and you're entering the bay, I guess, where you see all those boats come in and inland.
It's kind of a protector.
Exactly. Yeah.
Awesome. So-
prevents erosion, filters out salt from the water, turns
Okay.
the water fresh.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Now, if somebody wanted to help out or get involved, do you have a website, or how could they get a hold of you?
Oh, it's pretty easy. urbanvegetableproject.com.
Okay.
Mary, our super tech savvy, super media gal, she runs that.
Okay. And you guys have like an Instagram. That's how we
Sure.
found each other.
Yeah.
And kind of a funny thing, right? So Mary, who we'll get on film here in a minute, grew up in Miami, and Shayna, my girlfriend, grew up in Miami. And Mary and I have been connected through Instagram for a couple years now. And then she saw a picture of Shayna on my Instagram and reached out to Shayna and said, "No way, you're Tony's boyfriend. I've been following forever." So this is kind of how it all came together. And I got to tell you, I don't know if you guys kind of feel this way with farming and doing this kind of work. Things kind of fall into place.
Sure.
Like I know for me, sometimes I'll be looking at, we've got all this to do and I don't have any volunteers this week. And then all of a sudden out of nowhere, a church group shows up of
Yeah.
16 people
Yeah.
or whatever
Yeah.
it might be. And it's just like, so I think the universe has our back as farmers. I mean,
I would agree with that. It's crazy because usually you think of there's always a give and take. If I need labor, I gotta hire. If I need this, I gotta pay for it. But for some reason, people love to help farmers, especially farmers who are grinding it out. They're not, we're not these super high production farms. We're local farms. We're
It's
urban
small
farms.
scale. You don't have machinery out here. You're picking by hand. You don't have a combine going through and harvesting wheat.
Yeah.
Now, as far as volunteers, can anybody volunteer here?
Sure.
Here, you'll take them.
I will take them. Yeah, man. We're definitely looking for help. So, I mean, we have this farm here, and we also have a farm that's 15 miles south
Okay.
by the other FIU campus.
Okay, and
it's
that's more of a
actually-
production farm.
That's a production farm. That's where we're going to have a 60-member CSA. We've got walk-in cooler. We're going to have a pack house there. But that's on church property.
So did you guys get that donated then?
Well, I'm a member of this church, and they needed money, because they wanted to survive. And I was like, hey, I'll farm the land for you guys, give you a percentage of the profits.
So you are basically not only giving back to the community in the form of education, building community, taking students that might not have had an opportunity to even go to college and have this really enriched experience working with the land, working with the fruits and vegetables, but you're also started a community garden basically.
Yeah.
At a church that was struggling for money, and so you're putting finances and I'm assuming some food to the members
Sure.
back
sure.
there, building health, building community, bringing financial capital gain to a community. Churches are doing good stuff out there. That's fantastic.
Thank you. I mean, I put it on the line for St. Simon's Episcopal Church, but
Okay.
this sits on 4 acres of land. People don't know down here in Miami, land is very hard to come by.
I've noticed.
So it's in the middle of a suburb, and it's just a 4-acre plot. So I couldn't turn that down. And there's, the congregation there is amazing. They're filled with just old Cubans, and they're looking for a way to survive, and I'm looking for a way to farm and connect with the community. So it was a total win-win. So I'm looking
just a perfect connection. Again,
Yeah.
the universe is supporting everybody's efforts, and I'm assuming that those Cuban folks are probably helping out, because I
Oh,
know
yeah,
in Cuba they have one of the most self-sustaining agriculture systems on the planet, because they got cut off from everything, so everybody's got to eat. So there's probably a lot of trained individuals there
Oh man,
that could help you out with your farming.
you hit the nail on the head. I had no idea how involved Cubans were with agriculture. So I'll be out there, like this past week, I'm putting in sweet potatoes, on my hands and knees.
This way.
Exactly, and I'll hear like from the background, "Oh yeah, you're doing that wrong. Put it in there." And I'm like, "What do you know about sweet potatoes?" And he's like, "I've been doing that since I was 8."
Yeah, right? That's
All right,
how we fed ourselves.
I'll listen to you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Sweet potatoes probably do really well here too, I'm assuming.
Amazing,
Because
amazing.
it's just like sweet potatoes, I know we grow them in Phoenix, they tolerate the heat really well, but
Love
they
it.
like the moisture. Another just quick tidbit of info is usually if you're growing a root crop, radishes, carrots, sweet potatoes, they want to have a decent amount of moisture, because
Sure.
where they're getting their moisture from is that big root. And if they don't have enough moisture, they start shooting off these little smaller roots, and that makes for not as good of food. So just
Sure.
a little tidbit there. Maybe we can flash something up. Quick tip or something. I don't know. We haven't made a
Quick
video.
tip: irrigate properly when
Yeah.
doing root crops.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Perfect. Well, do you have anything else to kind of add to our conversation here?
No, but I guess to your followers, thank you for hearing us out and getting to learn about us. And for those burgeoning farmers out there, take the chance. There's nothing to lose. Approach people, make the right connections. You see a plot of land, go talk to the owner. Just go make it happen.
Right, get your
Yeah.
hands in the dirt. Moses, it
Yeah.
is such a pleasure to meet
Yeah,
you. You're
me
an
too.
amazing dude. This is an amazing project. I really feel blessed and fortunate to be here and meet you guys and connect with Mary. And keep on doing what you're doing, brother, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Alrighty, have a good one.
You too.
Farm tripping.